How Ancient Samurai Became Genius, and How You Can Too. Prologue, the question. Dr. Rebecca Chen stood in the University of Tokyo's archives, staring at a centuries-old manuscript that made no sense. She was a neuroscientist researching cognitive enhancement, and she'd come to Japan following a strange pattern in historical records. Samurai warriors from the 16th and 17th centuries demonstrated cognitive abilities that seemed impossible. They could memorize entire books after reading them once, make complex strategic decisions in seconds, learn new skills with extraordinary speed, maintain focus for hours without mental fatigue, solve problems that stumped trained scholars. These weren't just a few exceptional individuals. It was systemic, an entire warrior class displaying genius-level cognitive performance. How, Rebecca whispered to herself, examining training manuals that described daily practices. What were they doing that we've forgotten? An elderly Japanese professor, Dr. Yamamoto, appeared beside her. "You're looking at the wrong thing," he said gently. "You're looking at what they achieved. You should be looking at what they practiced." He pointed to a section of the manuscript titled, "Chinese letter, Japanese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Kokoro no Tanrenho, Methods for Forging the Mind." The samurai didn't become geniuses by accident, Dr. Yamamoto continued. They had a complete system, daily practices designed to enhance every aspect of cognitive function. Modern neuroscience is only now discovering what they understood intuitively 400 years ago. Rebecca's eyes widened. "Can you teach me?" "Better," the professor smiled. "I can show you someone who still practices these methods. My grandson, Kenji, trains at a traditional dojo. He's a software engineer now, but he uses samurai mental training to solve problems no one else can. Come, meet him tomorrow. He'll demonstrate." The next morning, Rebecca met Kenji at his dojo, a minimalist space with wooden floors, sliding paper doors, and the scent of incense. "Dr. Yamamoto tells me you want to understand samurai cognitive training," Kenji said, bowing slightly. "The first practice is Dokusho Zanmai, reading meditation, or what we call deep reading." He handed Rebecca a dense philosophy text in Japanese. Modern people skim, they scroll, they consume information but don't absorb it. The samurai read differently. The practice. Kenji demonstrated the samurai reading method. 1. Preparation, 5 minutes. Sit in formal posture, seiza or cross-legged. 3. Deep breaths to center the mind. Set intention, I will absorb and understand. Clear all distractions from environment. 2. First pass overview, 10 minutes. Read chapter titles and headings only. Notice structure and flow. Predict what each section will contain. Brain primes itself for information. 3. Deep reading, 30 minutes. Read slowly, 1 sentence at a time. After each paragraph, pause. Close eyes and visualize the concept. Explain it in your own words mentally. If you can't explain it, reread. 4. Active recall, 10 minutes. Close the book. Write summary from memory. Identify 3 key concepts. Connect to existing knowledge. 5. Teaching reflection, 5 minutes. Imagine explaining this to someone. What questions would they ask? What examples would you use? "This takes an hour per chapter," Rebecca protested. "That's so slow." "Slow," Kenji smiled. "Modern people read 100 pages in 3 hours and remember 10%. The samurai read 20 pages in 1 hour and remembered 90%, which is faster." The neuroscience. Kenji explained what modern research confirmed. When you skim, information enters short-term memory and disappears. Your brain tags it as not important. But when you read deeply, hippocampus engagement, deep processing moves information to long-term memory. Prefrontal cortex activation, understanding and synthesis occur. Neural network building. New concepts connect to existing knowledge. Myelin development. Repeated practice strengthens neural pathways. The samurai weren't just reading, they were building permanent neural structures. Rebecca tried the method with a research paper she'd been struggling with. After the full hour-long process, she could recall the entire methodology without notes. "This is incredible," she breathed. "I've never retained information like this." "This is just the beginning," Kenji said. "Deep reading builds the foundation, but there are 7 more practices." The next day, Kenji showed Rebecca a scroll depicting samurai engaged in what looked like meditation, but with a specific focus. Mondai Yukai problem dissolution, Kenji explained. When the samurai faced complex problems, battle strategy, political intrigue, resource allocation, they didn't try to force solutions, they practiced dissolution. The practice. 1 problem immersion, 15 minutes. Write the problem in detail. Identify all constraints and variables. Map what you know and don't know. Fill your conscious mind completely with the problem. 2. Release 30-60 minutes. Engage in automatic physical activity. Walking meditation, no music, no phone. Simple kata, repetitive sword movements. Sweeping, gardening, any repetitive task. Let conscious mind rest while subconscious works. 3. Capture 5 minutes. Keep paper and pen nearby. When insight appears, it will. Write immediately. Don't judge or analyze yet. Just capture the raw insight. 4. Integration 10 minutes. Return to problem with fresh perspective. Test insight against constraints. Refine and develop solution. "This seems like procrastination," Rebecca said skeptically. "The opposite," Kenji replied. "It's directed unconscious processing. The samurai understood what neuroscience now confirms. Your conscious mind is terrible at complex problem-solving, but your unconscious mind, your default mode network, is brilliant at it." The neuroscience. Kenji showed Rebecca recent studies. When you intensely focus on a problem, you activate the executive network, your conscious, deliberate thinking. This network is linear, slow, and can only hold about 7 pieces of information. But when you release the problem and engage in automatic activity, you activate the default mode network. This network processes information unconsciously, makes non-obvious connections, accesses your entire knowledge base, solves problems in parallel, not linear fashion. The samurai called this mushin, no mind. Modern science calls it unconscious problem solving. Either way, it works. Rebecca decided to test it. She had a research question that had stumped her for weeks. She spent 15 minutes immersing herself in the problem, then went for a 45-minute walk with no phone, no music, just walking. At minute 32, the solution appeared fully formed, so clear she couldn't believe she hadn't seen it before. The answer was there the whole time, she realized. I just needed to stop trying so hard to find it. On the 3rd day, Kenji handed Rebecca a wooden sword, a bokken. "Today you learn how the samurai mastered skills faster than anyone thought possible. Jujutsu Shotoku, accelerated skill acquisition." He demonstrated a basic overhead strike. "Try to copy this." Rebecca attempted it. Her movement was clumsy, uncoordinated. "Now watch carefully," Kenji said. "I'm going to show you the samurai method." The practice. Phase 1, deconstruction, 20 minutes. Break skill into smallest possible components. For sword strike, grip stance, hip rotation, shoulder movement, wrist snap, breath. Master each component separately before combining. You can't master a symphony if you can't play individual notes. Phase 2, slowed practice, 30 minutes. Perform movement at 10% speed. Focus on perfect form, not speed. The samurai practiced kata forms incredibly slowly. Speed is the enemy of skill acquisition. Perfect slow practice creates perfect neural pathways. Phase 3, repetition with variation, 40 minutes. Repeat movement 100 plus times. Each repetition slightly different. Different angles, different starting positions. Variability builds robust neural patterns. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Phase 4, mental rehearsal, 10 minutes. Close eyes. Visualize perfect execution. Feel the movement in your mind. Neural pathways fire even without movement. The mind doesn't distinguish practice from imagination. The neuroscience. Modern research on skill acquisition validates everything the samurai did, Kenji explained. Myelination. When you practice a skill, your brain wraps neural pathways in myelin, an insulating layer that makes signals faster and more reliable. But myelin only develops from struggling at the edge of ability, not too easy, not too hard. Focused, deliberate practice, not mindless repetition. Immediate error correction, noticing and fixing mistakes instantly. The 10,000-hour myth. It's not about hours, it's about how you practice. The samurai could master a technique in months that took others years because they practiced at the edge of ability, not in comfort zone. They focused intensely, no distraction. They used mental rehearsal, doubled effective practice time. After 1 hour of samurai method practice, Rebecca's sword strike was unrecognizable from her first attempt. Smooth, coordinated, powerful. I learned more in 1 hour than I typically learn in a week, she marveled. Because you practiced the way the brain actually learns, Kenji replied. The fourth day, Kenji showed Rebecca how samurai warriors memorized vast amounts of information. Battle strategies, clan genealogies, complex protocols, entire texts. Kyoku no Shihai, memory mastery, Kenji said. The samurai had to remember everything. No writing in battle, no notes during negotiations. Memory was survival. The practice. Technique 1, the palace method, Kyudenho. Visualize a familiar location, your home, a route you walk. Place information at specific locations along a mental journey. To recall, mentally walk through the space. Information appears at each location. Can store unlimited information this way. Technique 2, sensory encoding, Kankaku Fugoka. Don't just memorize words, create full sensory experiences. For each piece of information, encode, visual, see it in vivid detail. Auditory, hear sounds associated with it. Kinesthetic, feel the physical sensation. Emotional, attach an emotion to it. Narrative, create a story connecting elements. Technique 3, spaced repetition, Kankiaku Hanpuku. Review information at specific intervals, after 1 hour. After 1 day. After 3 days. After 1 week. After 1 month. Each review moves information deeper into long-term memory. The samurai scheduled these reviews into daily routines. The neuroscience. Your brain evolved to remember survival-relevant information, Kenji explained. Dangers, food sources, social relationships. It didn't evolve to remember abstract facts. But the samurai hacked the system. Spatial memory is powerful. We naturally remember locations, evolutionary advantage. Emotional tagging works. Emotionally charged memories stick. Multisensory encoding is superior. More neural pathways equals stronger memory. Spaced repetition defeats forgetting curve. Reviews at critical moments prevent decay. Modern memory champions use these exact techniques. The samurai figured them out 400 years ago. Rebecca tested the palace method by memorizing a 30-item list. Walking through her apartment mentally, placing items in specific locations, she recalled all 30 items perfectly on first try, something she'd never done before. On the fifth day, Kenji addressed Rebecca's biggest complaint. I can't focus, I'm constantly distracted. How did samurai maintain concentration for hours? Through Shutyu Seibai, focus cultivation, Kenji replied. A deliberate practice to build attention like you build muscle. The practice. Level 1, Object Focus, 10 minutes daily. Choose a simple object, candle flame, spot on wall. Stare without blinking for as long as possible. When mind wanders, gently return attention. Repeat daily, gradually extending duration. After 2 weeks, can maintain focus 5+ minutes. Level 2, Counting Breath, 15 minutes daily. Count each exhale from 1 to 10. When you lose count, start over. Sounds simple, incredibly difficult. Trains attention control and awareness. After 1 month, mind wanders 80% less. Level 3, Single Tasking Marathon, 60 minutes daily. One task, no interruption, no switching. Timer set, phone off, door closed. Work until timer ends. This is actual practice, not just theory. After 3 months, can focus for hours. Level 4, Flow State Cultivation. Identify activities where you naturally focus. Schedule these during peak energy times. Eliminate all friction to starting. Enter these states intentionally. Document what conditions create flow. The neuroscience. Attention is like a muscle, Kenji explained. In modern world, you're practicing distraction. Every time you check your phone, switch tasks, or interrupt yourself, you're training your brain to be unable to focus. But focus can be trained. Anterior cingulate cortex grows with meditation practice. Prefrontal cortex strengthens with sustained attention. Default mode network becomes less intrusive. Attention networks develop better control. The samurai practiced focused attention for hours daily. After years, they could enter deep focus at will. Modern research shows you can develop similar capacity in months of consistent practice. Rebecca started with 10 minutes of candle gazing. The first day, her mind wandered every 10 seconds. By day 7, she could maintain focus for 3 minutes. By day 14, for 8 minutes, her work productivity doubled. The 6th day, Kenji introduced a practice that separated great samurai strategists from merely good ones. Togo Shiko, synthesis thinking. Average people think linearly, Kenji explained. A causes B causes C, but complex reality doesn't work that way. The samurai trained to see systems, patterns, connections. The practice. Exercise 1, Connecting Domains. Take 2, completely unrelated subjects. Find 10 connections between them. Forces brain to make non-obvious associations. Builds creative pattern recognition. Example, connect tea ceremony and military strategy. Exercise 2, First Principles Thinking. Take any complex problem. Ask why 5 times to reach root causes. Rebuild solution from fundamental truths. Avoid copying others' solutions. Creates truly innovative approaches. Exercise 3, Mental Simulation. Before taking action, run mental simulations. Play out scenarios step by step. Consider second and third order effects. Anticipate what others won't see. The samurai fought battles in their minds before the field. Exercise 4, Pattern Journaling. Daily, write 3 patterns you noticed. Could be anything, behavior, nature, systems. Over time, trains pattern recognition. Brain starts seeing connections automatically. Becomes second nature after 3 months. The neuroscience. Einstein, Da Vinci, and great samurai strategists shared something. Exceptional pattern recognition and synthesis ability, Kenji said. This isn't genetic, it's trained. When you practice making connections, association cortex develops. links between brain regions strengthen. Divergent thinking improves, can generate multiple solutions. Insight frequency increases, breakthrough moments become common. Systems thinking emerges, see forests, not just trees. The samurai called this mushin no mind or beginner's mind. In neuroscience, it's called cognitive flexibility. Either way, it's trainable. Rebecca practiced connecting unrelated domains. At first, it felt forced. By week 2, she was seeing connections everywhere between her neuroscience research and ancient philosophy, between data patterns and natural phenomena. Her research suddenly accelerated. The 7th day, Rebecca was exhausted. I can't think anymore. My brain is tired. Perfect timing, Kenji smiled. Today's practice, Enerugi Shihai energy mastery. The samurai understood. Cognitive performance depends on managing your energy, not your time. The practice. The daily energy rhythm. Morning 6:10 a.m., peak cognitive hours. Deepest thinking. Complex problem solving. Strategic decisions. Learning new materials. Never waste on email or meetings. Late morning 10 am 12 p.m. Creative hours. Synthesis work. Writing. Design. Problem dissolution. Good for connecting ideas. Afternoon 12 p.m. Energy dip. Physical activity, samurai trained here. Routine tasks. Review and admins. Don't fight the dip, use it wisely. Late afternoon 2:05 p.m. Secondary peak. Implementation work. Collaboration. Communication. Teaching others. Good for execution, not innovation. Evening 5:09 p.m. Recovery. Light learning. Reading. Reflection. Family social. Prepare for tomorrow. Night 9 p.m. 6 a.m. Deep recovery. 7-9 hours sleep, non-negotiable. Brain consolidates learning. Clears metabolic waste. Restores cognitive function. Sleep is training, not rest. The cognitive enhancement tools. Tool 1, strategic napping, Suimin Senryaku. 20-minute nap, not longer, no deep sleep. Between 1-3 p.m., when energy naturally dips. Restores focus, equivalent to 3 hours rest. The samurai napped strategically before battles. Tool 2, movement breaks, Undo Kyuke. Every 90 minutes, 5-minute movement. Increases blood flow to brain. Resets attention. The samurai moved between study and practice. Tool 3, fasting windows, Danshoku Meido. Don't eat 2 hours before cognitive work. Digestion diverts blood from brain. The samurai trained and studied before meals. Afternoon dip is often postprandial somnolence. The neuroscience. Your brain is 2% of body weight but uses 20% of energy, Kenji explained. When you're mentally tired, you've depleted glucose and accumulated metabolic waste. The samurai optimized energy. Circadian rhythm alignment, work with natural energy cycles. Ultradian rhythms, 90-minute focus cycles, then break. Sleep priority, REM consolidates learning, deep sleep clears waste. Movement enhances cognition, BDNF, brain fertilizer, released during exercise. Modern executives burn out by ignoring energy. The samurai sustained peak performance for decades by respecting energy cycles. Rebecca redesigned her entire schedule around energy. She moved her hardest cognitive work to early morning, took 20-minute naps, and moved regularly. Within a week, her productive hours doubled, not by working more, but by working when her brain was actually capable. On the 8th and final day, Kenji explained how all these practices integrated. Togo Shisutemu, the integrated system, he said. Each practice alone is powerful. Together, they create genius-level cognitive performance. The Daily Samurai Cognitive Routine. Morning 6:00-9:00 a.m. Wake naturally, aligned with circadian rhythm. 10 minutes, focus cultivation, candle gazing or breath counting. 1 hour, deep reading, most important learning materials. 30 minutes, physical training, builds BDNF. Energy state, peak cognitive capacity. Late morning 9:00-12:00 p.m. 2 hours, creative synthesis work, writing, problem solving. 30 minutes, skill practice, deliberate practice on specific skill. Energy state, creative peak. Afternoon 12:00-2:00 p.m. Meal light, not heavy. 20-minute nap. 30 minutes, walking meditation, problem dissolution. Energy state, recovery and unconscious processing. Late afternoon 2:00-5:00 p.m. 2 hours, implementation work, executing on morning's insights. 30 minutes, memory review, spaced repetition of key information. Energy state, execution mode. Evening 5:00-9:00 p.m. 1 hour, light reading or study. 30 minutes, pattern journaling, synthesis thinking. 1 hour, social family time. 30 minutes, tomorrow preparation. Energy state, wind down. Night 9:00-6:00 a.m. 9 hours sleep window to get 7-8 hours actual sleep. Dark, cool room, optimal for deep sleep. No screens 1 hour before bed. Energy state, deep recovery and consolidation. The compound effect. Practice these daily for 90 days, Kenji said, and you'll experience. Week 1-2, noticeable improvements in focus and energy. Week 3-4, significant boost in learning speed and retention. Week 5-8, enhanced problem-solving and creativity. Week 9-12, integration, everything working together seamlessly. After 90 days, the samurai cognitive system becomes automatic. You don't think about it, you simply operate at genius level. The neuroscience of integration. Each practice builds different neural systems, Kenji explained. Deep reading, right arrow, builds knowledge networks. Problem dissolution, right arrow, activates unconscious processing. Skill acquisition, right arrow, myelinates specific pathways. Memory mastery, right arrow, strengthens hippocampal function. Focus cultivation, right arrow, develops attention control. Synthesis, thinking, right arrow, connects disparate domains. Energy mastery, right arrow, optimizes brain metabolism. Integration, right arrow, creates genius-level performance. The samurai weren't born geniuses, they became geniuses through systematic practice, and so can you. Epilogue 3 months later. Rebecca sat in her office at Stanford, reviewing her latest research paper. The breakthrough that had eluded her for 2 years had come easily after implementing samurai cognitive practices. Her productivity had tripled, her research quality had dramatically improved, her ability to see connections others missed had become her signature strength. But more importantly, the constant mental fog, the afternoon exhaustion, the inability to focus, all gone. She'd posted a video online explaining the samurai cognitive system. It went viral. Thousands of people, students, executives, artists, entrepreneurs, began implementing the practices. The emails flooded in. I memorized an entire semester's material in 2 weeks using the Palace method. The problem dissolution technique solved a business challenge we'd faced for months. After 30 days of focus cultivation, I can concentrate for 3 hours straight. I thought I had ADHD. The energy mastery completely changed my life. I accomplish more by 10 a.m. than I used to all day. Rebecca smiled. The samurai had known something profound. Genius isn't born, it's systematically cultivated through daily practice. Modern neuroscience was finally catching up to wisdom that warriors had discovered 400 years ago through pure observation and experimentation. The practices worked then, they work now. The only question is, will you use them? The complete samurai cognitive enhancement system. The 8 practices. 1. Deep reading, Dokusho Zanmai. Preparation, right arrow, overview right arrow, deep reading right arrow, active recall right arrow, teaching reflection. 1 hour per chapter, 90% retention versus 3 hours, 10% retention. Builds permanent neural structures. 2. Problem dissolution, Mondai Yuka. Immersion, 15 min, right arrow release, 30-60 min, right arrow capture, right arrow integration. Activates unconscious processing. Accesses default mode network. 3. Skill acquisition, Jujutsu Shotoku. Deconstruction, right arrow slowed practice, right arrow repetition, with variation, right arrow mental rehearsal. Perfect practice at edge of ability. Builds myelin on neural pathways. 4. Memory mastery, Kyoku no Shihai. Palace method plus sensory encoding plus spaced repetition. Unlimited storage capacity. 90% plus retention possible. 5. Focus cultivation, Shachu Seibai. Object focus, right arrow counting breath, right arrow, single tasking, right arrow flow states. Attention as trainable muscle. Hours of deep focus possible. 6. Synthesis thinking, Togo Shiko. Connecting domains plus first principles plus mental simulation plus pattern journaling. Develops cognitive flexibility. Creates breakthrough insights. 7. Energy mastery, Enerugi Shihai. Align work with energy cycles. Strategic napping plus movement plus fasting windows. Sleep as non-negotiable. Double productive hours. 8. Integrated system, Togo Shisutemu. Daily routine, combining all practices. 90-day transformation protocol. Genius level performance as default. Implementation protocol. Week 1, add deep reading 1 hour daily. Week 2, add focus cultivation 10 minutes daily. Week 3, add energy mastery, restructure schedule. Week 4, add skill practice 30 minutes daily. Week 5, add memory techniques as needed. Week 6, add problem dissolution when facing complex problems. Week 7, add synthesis thinking daily. Journaling. Week 8, full integration. By week 12, operating at genius level becomes automatic. Expected results. Learning speed 3-5x faster. Retention 70-90% versus 10-20% baseline. Focus duration 2-4 hours versus 15-30 minutes. Problem solving, breakthrough insights weekly. Energy, sustained high performance all day. Creativity, constant novel connections. Skill mastery, months instead of years. The samurai principle. The genius warrior was not born with superior mind. The genius warrior built a superior mind through daily practice. What the ancient masters achieved through discipline, modern science now confirms through neuroscience. The path to genius is not mysterious, it is systematic.